Hi everybody! Welcome to Facebook Live here with Jesse James Beads. I'm Sarah Ellis. I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I have a terrible cold. I have a cough dropping in my mouth. It's either that or me cough and drive you guys crazy because it drives me crazy. So I apologize if I sound like a frog and I have something in my mouth. But we're going to get through this. It's a really fun project and I didn't want to wimp out and not do this today because I've been waiting to play with these Dakota Stones and I cannot wait to show you guys this strand. It's really, really awesome. We're gonna make a really cool necklace today using some suede lace, and we're using the perfectly jaded Dakota Stones bead strand. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out because it's absolutely gorgeous. Green, everything. It is everything spring and summertime, I'm telling you. And I said last week, I really love to use like leather and hemp and like softer stringing materials for the warmer weather. So this is kind of like my entryway into that. And let's see. Oh, there's something exciting today. You guys are going to get a free pack of C-crimps with any $39 purchase or more if you use the code cord ends. I hope you understood what I just said because I sound like a frog. Cord ends, all one word. Enter that in at checkout and you will get a pack of C-crimps. Now, if you don't know what C-crimps are, stay tuned because we're going to use them in the video where that's actually the cord ends for the suede that we're going to be using. So let's get started. All right. Karen says, eat pineapple, it helps with chest congestion. That's actually pretty awesome because pineapple is one of my absolute favorite fruits. I'm gonna have to do that. I appreciate that. I'm so sorry that I sound so bad, you guys. I really, really apologize. Thank you for being patient with me. Okay, check this out. Love it, love it, love it. This is the, let's see, perfectly jaded Dakota Stones bead strand. If I could get my fingers off of it, you could see it. It is stunning, absolutely stunning. This has some 10mm rounds. These guys are huge. These are jade pieces, these great big 10mm jade pieces. And then you're also going to get some star cut rhyolite, and these are gorgeous too. I absolutely love these. Very earthy. And there are some faceted jade rondelles as well, which are yummy, yummy. I just can't even begin to tell you how beautiful those are. So if you are interested in those, you better go ahead and add those to your cart right now. And don't forget the cord ends code for checkout. You're also going to be able to shop along. There is a list of all of the products. I say all, I think it is all of them. I think you can get everything that we need for this project today from Jesse James' website. So speaking of what you're going to need, let's talk about that before we move on. So I'm using some suede lace today. I'm using this soft brown, and you'll notice that this is lace, so it's flat. It's not round like your Greek leather cord, okay? You're going to need a couple of strands of this. You're going to need two 25-inch strands of this, and then you're also going to need a 10-inch strand, an 11.5-inch strand, and a 13-inch strand. I'll tell you that again when we get to the point where we're using them. But just in case you're writing things down, that's what you're going to need. You're also going to need a 25mm quick link, or it actually doesn't even have to be 25mm. I had some other things just in my stash that I thought that I would bring out and show you. I have a solid ring and a smaller quick link, a larger quick link, and then this guy, I don't even know what this is, but it was pretty. So I thought that would look pretty cool too. Anything round that just, you know, sparks your interest in your stash, bring that out because we're going to use that as the center point of our necklace. I'm using the 25mm silver color quick link. You're also going to need, let's see, 10 6mm jump rings. So just grab a handful of those, 10 of the C-crimps. Now that's what these guys are. If you've never seen these before, these are pretty cool. These are perfect for using with just about any string material, but they are perfect for that suede lace because the suede lace is flat. And these will clamp down. You just squeeze them together with your pliers. They clamp down on the ends of that lace really, really well. You have to be careful not to squeeze too hard though, because if you'll notice, there are some teeth And if you squeeze too hard, you'll bite right through whatever stringing material. So you want to be careful, but perfect for the suede lace. Again, cord ends is that code if you guys want a pack of these, because it's the perfect way to finish off the ends of your suede lace. Sorry. All right, you're also going to need a clasp of some sort. There's a really, really pretty toggle clasp that is on the Jessie James website. All I have for mine is a lobster clasp. You can use anything you want to, but there is a really beautiful one that's listed with all these other materials. And you're going to need about 6 head pins. If you don't want to use head pins, you can use eye pins. It's really up to you. You can certainly wire wrap with just pieces of 2-inch 22 gauge wire if you want to as well. Totally up to you. Angie says hi. Hi, Angie. I'm so glad everybody is here today. All right, let's get started. I was trying to think of what the best place to start is, because you can start this project at any point of this necklace, but we're going to start with the long strands. Now, I have cut 3 strands. Like I said, one is a 10-inch strand, one is an 11.5-inch strand, and one is a 13-inch strand. They're kind of staggered, but not exact. If you don't want to cut those ahead of time, you can cut 3 13-inch strands and then just give them a haircut. And I'll show you at what point you can do that in just a second. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take all 3 of these strands and we're going to try to find the middle. Just kind of line them up. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then find the middle of all 3 of those. And then we're going to create a lark's head knot over our quick link. So if you don't know what that is, you're just going to make a loop. And then you're going to, and that loop is coming through the middle of your quick link. And then you want to grab the tail ends of your cord and pull those through. Now it might take a little bit of finessing since this is a handful of cords, but it's all right. Just take your time, pull that through. And before you pull it tight, you might want to straighten it up a little bit. I'm kind of a stickler for the way that this looks. If you want it to look messy, that's totally fine. It's up to you. It's your design. You can do whatever you want, but I kind of like to make mine lay flat before I start pulling tight. And as you're pulling tight, you can obviously make your adjustments then as well. I just like everything to kind of lay as nicely as possible. And if you see one, this one is sticking up a little bit. There we go, that's it. All right, so now, because we had 3 different sizes, we've got a lot of different lengths here. And like I said, if you wanted to use 3 cords that were the same inch and then just give them a haircut at this point, you totally can do that. You can come in with your scissors or your cutter tool and trim these off and make these whatever length you want to, or you can just leave them just like they are. I think I'm actually going to cut some of these. I hadn't planned on doing that, but I think I will. I think I'll trim some of these off just a little bit. Just kind of randomly. Let's see. I do want one to be kind of long, so I'll trim this one off. It's really up to you. You can actually make these all the same length if you want to. I just kind of like to have them staggered, but I don't like them to be perfect. Okay, so there's that. And now we're going to use these c-crimps. Now these are super duper easy to use. I will tell you though, that if you feel like you're not getting a very secure crimp on these, you can add a little dab of bead stringing glue to these before you actually close them. So you'll notice I'm using a pair of flat nose pliers. You can use your chain nose pliers as well. It makes no difference. I just like the flat nose plier because they have more surface area to work with, but your chain nose pliers are perfectly fine. Okay, so I have the crimp. You can see I'm just holding it in the jaw of the pliers, and then I'm going to come to the end of one of my pieces of suede. I'm going to place that right into that crimp. Now I haven't squeezed it yet or anything like that. I just want to give it a nice look and be sure that that end is all the way up against the back of this crimp here. So you don't want to clamp it shut right at the end and then your suede fall out, okay? So I'm just going to double check on the side. You can see my suede's going all the way in there. And again, you can add a dab of glue if you want to, if you feel like that gives you some extra security, but you don't have to. Now you just want to very gently with your pliers close that shut. And double check. Just give it a couple more squeezes. Now you'll notice from the side, there's still some space there. If you mash that flat and get rid of all that space, you're going to cut through your suede. So you don't want to make it completely closed. I mean, obviously it's closed on the suede, but along the side, you still want to be able to see that in there, okay? Give it a little tug to make sure that you've got a nice close on your C-crimp. And now you'll notice at the end, there's already a loop here, so it's perfect, ready for whatever you want to hang. We're going to use these here to hang some dangles, using some of those awesome Dakota Stones off of that strand. But we're also going to use this at the back of our necklace to add our jump rings and our clasp as well. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways you can use these. I'm just going to squeeze out a little bit more. Now I'm going to move on kind of quickly here and add the rest of these to the ends, just to kind of move on, because you guys don't need to see me do this over and over again. You do just want to check each one, give it a little tug, and be sure that you've got it nice and secure. Okay. So while I'm doing this, what are some summertime, springtime designs that you guys like? I make a lot of hemp designs, knotting, cord knotting in the summer and spring. I don't know why that is, but that seems to be what I'm drawn to when the warmer weather comes on, and it is certainly warm here and getting warmer by the day. All right, so I'm just closing those on. All right, I've got 2 more to go. Okay. And this is the last one. Excuse me. Go ahead and close that one up. All right, so now our little suede laces are all ready for their dangles at the end. So for the dangles, obviously, I'm using this awesome strand of beads. I've made some of these ahead of time through the magic of TV, which is crazy because this is live. Try to figure it out. I have some of these pre-made just to kind of save some time, because I know that you guys don't want to see me do this over and over and over again. You'll get the idea. I'm going to make 2 of these and then we'll attach them all. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a head pin and we will thread on. Let's see. Let's use one of these rhyolites because they are so awesome. And one of these guys. And let's see. All right. Actually, yeah. All right, so I have thread 3 of the beads. This is the rhyolite, that star cut. Absolutely love those. This silver bead it's sort of like a spacer, shaped sort of like spaceship, is also on the strand. I love that there is an addition of extra things on the strand. And then this rondelle jade piece. All right, so we're gonna come in with our chain nose pliers, and I'm going to make a wrapped loop because I don't want these stones to come undone. I want this to be a nice secure, let me move this. I want this to be a nice secure wrap, okay? So I'm going to bend that wire 90 degrees, just like so. I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers and go up and over the barrel of the pliers. I'm going to adjust my grip just a little bit and continue to push that wire around so that I have a nice loop, okay? And I'm gonna switch hands here and make a wrap. Oh, and it looks like I've got enough room to make about 4 good wraps. The head pins that I'm using, these are pretty stout, guys. So I'm having a hard time. Actually, I only have about enough room for 3, so that's great. I'm gonna come in with my cutter tool and trim that tail off. Get that out of the way. Okay, I'm just gonna double check, make sure that the end is tucked in and that the loop itself is nice and straight up and down. And magically, there's two. Ta-da! See, I'm magic. Isn't that great? For somebody who's sick, I'm so magical. All right, so I'm going to make a couple more. I've already done these. I used the 10mm jade beads. I think that's probably my favorite bead on the strand. They are absolutely delicious. They are so pretty. I can't begin to tell you how pretty those are. And so there are those. I'm going to make another set with a glass bead and one of these spacers. I think these spacers are really cool. There's a couple of those on the strand. Really cool. I love the flat disc spacers. Those are really awesome. Another one of these rhyolite beads and a glass bead. To finish off the top, I'm going to do another wrapped loop, just like I did before. Bending that wire. I know I kind of sped through that. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get in the groove and then don't realize that I haven't stopped. All right, so I've made my wrap. I'm going to switch hands. Or I made my loop, rather. I haven't wrapped yet. Now I'm going to wrap. I'm going to do probably 3. And then clean this one up a little bit because this guy was a little crooked. I was going fast. Wasn't really paying attention. All right. So I have a little bit of a tail. I'm going to trim that off. Get that out of the way. And then clean this guy up a little bit because he was a little crooked. All right, he's looking pretty good. All right, and now magically, I have a matching pair. How convenient. All right, so now we're ready to add these to the ends of our suede lace. And this is really cut and dry, guys. All I'm gonna do is just open and close some jump rings. I like doing the jump rings instead of attaching straight to the end of the C-crimp as I'm wrapping the loops, because this hole right here is just so tiny. If you're really, really good at wrapped loops, you can certainly do that and just skip the jump ring altogether. But I've tried and it's really kind of, it's a tight squeeze. So I didn't want to show it on camera that way. My hands would have been in the way. So it's up to you. I'm just giving you a little push in one direction and you just take it and run with it. Now I'm just going to add these on, not in any particular order. Try not to have them hanging side by side, which is kind of hard because it's kind of hard to tell where everything is here. All right. So we're just going to attach these guys to the ends. They're so pretty. I'm telling you guys, at Jesse James Beads, they know what they're doing when it comes to putting together a strand of beads. Nobody does it like they do. They make the best choices for what goes together. What a fun job. I'd love to do that. Sit and play with beads and pick beads out all day long, decide what goes together. That would be awesome. All right. Couple more to go, and then we're going to do the length portion of the necklace, and then we're going to be done. This is a really quick project, but I think it looks really, really cool. And like I said, this is very summer and springtime for me. Let's see. Karen says, I love using leather and linen. Fluorite and linen are so beachy. I agree. I completely agree with you. And fluorite is one of my favorites. I'm sorry if I was reading really slow. The comments are upside down. So I'm having to read everything upside down. Let's see where, I don't want to hang that one there. Too close to the other one. It's all right. You can always change these around. Once it's hanging up and you can see where everything's going to lay, you can always go back in and rearrange your beads if you want to later. Nothing is permanent. All right, so we have the last little dangle, and now we're going to do the top portion of our necklace, which is basically just another lark's head knot. Super easy, but look how pretty that is. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now we're going to use these two really long pieces of our suede lace. These are, what did I say, two 25-inch pieces. So these are pretty long, and it's actually going to shorten up quite a bit because we're going to fold them in half to do the lark's head knot. If you wanted to make this longer, you obviously could, or you could shorten it up. With a 25-inch piece, we're going to fold it in half, make the lark's head knot. I don't really know how much of the lace is going to be taken up with that knot, but with the addition of jump rings and a clasp, it's going to make this necklace about 24 inches long. And I'm talking 24 inches at this point. Okay, that doesn't include the length of the dangle, just in case you were wondering. Okay, so taking these two long pieces, we're going to find the middle. And we're just going to make another lark's head knot. And I always manage to do this backwards, so I may have to do this twice. You just have to bear with me. Yep, I'm doing it backwards, I can tell. All right, so we're going to go through the middle and then wrap through. I always get the second one backwards. I don't know why. Oh, I left one out. And I realize my fingers are in the way. I'm sorry. All right, so I'm going to straighten this up just a little bit before I start pulling everything. And I also want to check the ends too and make sure that everything is even. And if it's not, you can always kind of trim it up. All right, so 2 strands go for one side and 2 strands go to the other side. And if you can keep them on the same side as each other, that's great, but it really doesn't make any difference. Once you've got it hanging, it's fine. Why is it called lace? That's a good question. I have often wondered that because obviously it's not lace, it's made out of leather. And actually this isn't leather, this is faux suede. And I think it's because it's flat. I don't know. I think that's kind of weird because your shoelaces aren't flat, but that's what I always think of when it comes to why it's lace. I always just assume that it's because it's like a shoelace, but again, I've never seen a flat shoelace. I don't know, remember Sebagos back in the 80s? I think those laces might have been flat. I don't know. Now I'm showing my age. All right, so we've got, I'm just moving on right along without even showing you guys. All right, so we've pulled this all nice and snug, and we're ready to move on and add the C-crimps to the end. Just a side note here, just like you have added, if you have added your dabs of glue to your C-crimps before you closed them, you can also flip this over and add a couple of dabs of glue to the underneath portions of your lark's head knot as well, just to be sure that it doesn't come undone. I have found that this suede lace is really good about gripping onto itself so it doesn't tend to come undone, but if you're worried about it, you can always add a dab of glue. If I were selling this necklace and not just keeping it for myself, I would definitely add a dab of glue. Just my personal opinion. All right, almost finished. Coming in with these C-crimps. And again, we want to check these ends and make sure that they are even so that your necklace is going to hang evenly. And if they're not, definitely want to trim those off. See, one of mine is a little bit longer than the other. And that just happens when you make that knot. If I could get a hold of them. Smooth those out. And I'm going to trim one of those off just a little bit. Ooh, there we go. All right, so I'm going to add a C-crimp to both of these. Now, you could double up and add both ends to one C-crimp if you wanted to. However, I've had them come undone that way. So do that at your own risk. I find that it's safer just to give each one its own crimp. But if you want to double up, you certainly can, but I definitely would add the glue. All right, so just making sure those are secure. Now I'm going to, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm knocking everything around here. All right, I have my other two ends. I'm going to check to make sure that they are the same length. One of them is a little bit longer, but just by a tiny, tiny bit. Trim that off. All right, and now adding that guy and the last one. Sorry, I keep reaching across. I should put my stuff on the other side so I don't have to do that. All right, so now I'm gonna add jump rings. And then we're gonna be finished actually, because that's really all there is to this. You could get crazy with this if you wanted to. You could actually, instead of having the closure on the back like I'm doing, you could do the toggle up here on the front and use the quick link as the ring for the toggle, or forget the quick link and use the toggle for the whole thing. You could get really kind of cool with this design if you wanted to. My design for today is pretty straightforward, but you know, you guys take it and run with it, which you always do. You guys have shown pictures of the design that we did last week. Oh, they were so pretty, you guys. That made me feel so good to see people doing the projects. It was like, wow, I can't believe it. There's actually people out there. I'm not just talking to myself. All right, so all I'm doing is adding a jump ring. These are 6mm jump rings I've added to each side. Now I'm going to take one jump ring and group those two together just so that it's less messy when it is time to open and close your clasp. Okay, so this is just kind of a cleaner way to do this instead of having to try to catch two strands with one clasp. Okay, coming over here to the other side. Oh, I'm one jump ring short. Hold on. I'm actually two jump rings short. Just kidding. All right. So just gonna do the same thing, except this time I'm gonna add my clasp and we'll be done. All right, opening the last one, and I'm going to add my clasp to this one. Oh, doesn't do me any good if I don't add it to the necklace, does it? Oh, I need to go rest. All right, there we go. Now that makes more sense. So now when you go to put everything together, you just want to grab that one jump ring instead of trying to catch two. Does that make sense? You could probably, well, yeah, you could do this totally different than you could do this a million different ways. I'm just not even going to go there, but this is the way I chose to put it together. You guys, you know, you can use your own configuration for your jump rings for sure. All right. Okay. So that's it, guys. Just showing off these beads again because they are so, so pretty. Give you one last look at that, and then one last look at my sick little face, and then I will let you guys go for the weekend. There's that strand, so pretty. All right, cool. Hello, it's me again. So I just wanted to thank you guys for joining me today and putting up with my frog voice. I really, really appreciate it. I just wanted to one more time remind you that you can get a free pack of the c-crimps that we used in the project with a $39 or more order. Just add the word cord ends in the little code box when you are checking out to get your c-crimps. And again, everything that we used in the video today, you can grab from Jessie James' website. And that's it for me, you guys. I'm headed to the couch to find a blanket and watch some TV. You guys have an awesome weekend, and I will see you here, same time, same place next week. Bye, guys.